Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday morning, the 27th. It's roughly 10:45 thereabouts, and it's snowing. We're getting snowed upon, and they're talking about anywhere from 2 to 3 inches in some areas will be a maximum of three. 3 inches, 2, 3 inches. That don't bother me. When it gets to be above 6 inches, and then I start to go, it's going to be a little fun outside. Well, I'm supposed to go to work at 3. Or no, today's Wednesday. So let's go to work at 2. The last 2 days during the daytime has been really slow. I mean, like almost so slow that for the first part, Monday and Tuesday was so slow. I was basically by myself in the store for anywhere from 2 to 3 hours until my night person came in, and then he was by himself the whole night because Debbie, our boss, was basically like, if the labor is high and we're not making good money, go ahead and go home. So the deal is if I know I'm going to be going home as soon as my night guy comes in, I literally tell him, if you get into a situation where you need help, try to call me. I actually, Monday, he didn't call me. He said he was so busy at nighttime he didn't get the chance to even pick up the phone. And I was like, okay. So yesterday I swung by about 6:30 to check on him, and I'm glad I did, because he was a little, not like he was so far behind that he couldn't get anything done, but I can tell when I came in there at 6:30 that certain things were not hadn't been touched yet. So I helped him with a few things, and then about 45 minutes to an hour later, I came home. Excuse me. And then this morning, I got a text message from one of my crew members saying that our boss was sending her home at 10:30 because Rainey will be there at 10:30, and because of the way the weather is, our boss doesn't think they're going to need 2 people. And I was like, well, I hope not. And she went on to tell me that the roads were kind of slick and nasty, and our parking lot had not been plowed yet. They had not taken care of the parking lot yet. And I'm like, well, if the weatherman is correct, it will stop snowing around noon, which will give it about 2 hours to do as much melt off as possible. So I'm hoping by the time I go to work, either they've had the parking lot plowed or enough warmth or sunlight has come through to cause some of the snow to melt. I haven't checked my morning weather radar yet because I forgot, mostly. But yeah, I woke up this morning and looked outside. Well, my alarm woke me up and I looked outside and I went, yeah, it's sticking on everything, because it was a combination of 2 days worth of bone-chilling weather. The ground is too cold to basically melt anything off, so it's going to be like I don't know when it started snowing, but as soon as it started snowing, it's like instant build-up because the ground's not warm enough to melt it off, which that happens, especially this time of year. But I have, ever since Sunday, my throat and my chest is getting scratchier, and I'm coughing more. And well, it doesn't help when Mom smokes in the house, because I notice when I'm not in the house, I'm not coughing as much. But that aside, I'm beginning to think that I might have to call off tomorrow, if not today, so I can literally take care of this. But the problem is, if being in this house with mom smoking and whatnot is aggravating the situation, I don't know what to do. One of the things I know that I'm going to probably end up doing Friday, because that's my next day off, is go for another corona test to see if this is worse than I think it is. I'm hoping not. The only thing is, this time around, I am probably going to do my 14-day quarantine. Of course, if I have gotten coronavirus by then, I would know by now, because this would be this would be the second test I've taken, and the first test was negative. I was clean. My bill of health was good, but that was before the seasonal cruds, seasonal allergies and whatnot that I get, that's connected to the seasonal allergies, which means my immune system is weaker, and I want to make sure that now that it's that time of year where my immune system is weak, that I definitely get a full-blown, a proper test, not one of these sit in a window in my car having a CVS guy tell me what to do with the swab and whatnot. That was fun. But I hear nowadays the newer test is they don't even have to, do a full stick it all the way up your nose type thing. In fact, with people like me who have the coronavirus and who are mostly mouth breathers, because of did I say coronavirus? No, not coronavirus. Most of us who have allergies are mouth breathers because we have a hard time breathing through our noses. And that's part of my problem. And that's one of the reasons why I wear a mask so much outside the house, because the fact that I don't breathe through my nose, I breathe through my mouth. But they say it doesn't matter because it still can get up in there. And I'm like, okay, lovely. But I just want to make sure that I'm not contaminated, because if I am, I'm gonna have to start sleeping in a room separated from Jerry Ann, and basically quarantining myself to. Yikes! If I have to quarantine myself to one room, yeah, don't know how that's gonna fare, but I will definitely end up having to wear one or more. Well, I have to definitely wear my masks, plural, one per day, and do my laundry separate, because just can't. I don't want to risk it. If I had a camper, or if I had a RV, I quarantined myself into the RV just so I wouldn't have to be in the house. But if I have to quarantine myself in the house, we'll figure something out. I mean, my my aunt and uncle, when my uncle had coronavirus, they slept in 2 separate rooms, and he spent most of his time either, I don't know if he spent his time in the basement of the house, where they had, well, the only problem with spending time in the basement is the washer and dryer down there. But anyhow, they worked it out, and he's not 100% out of the woods, but he's not in the hospital. He's at home on I don't even know if he's on a ventilator. But he had gotten rushed to the hospital because they thought he had, he went to the doctor's office thinking he had some sort of pneumonia. And they said it was a coronavirus-induced pneumonia, and they gave him medication and instructions and sent him home, which I was kind of surprised. But I guess because he wasn't one of the worst case people, but he did have to get rushed to the hospital once or twice due to the corona deal, and they put him on a ventilator and all that fun stuff. Um, I'm hoping that doesn't happen with me, but I definitely have to go Friday to get it checked, because I don't want to be sitting here thinking, oh, it's just my allergies, and find out no, it's a form of corona. They are already talking about the mutated version of corona hitting America, and I'm like, yay. It's supposed to be deadlier than the first one, and I haven't heard any more about that. Like, what kind of contingency plans do we have? What kind of recommendations the CDC is putting out for this new version of corona? But I'm trying to take as many precautions as possible. In fact, I had a lovely conversation with my supervisor, Debbie, on Monday when we worked together for a short period of time. And I was talking to her about the ordeal with people not wearing masks into the store, because I don't feel comfortable, because I don't know what they're carrying. I don't know what kind of enzymes or germs or whatever they're breathing out onto the store. And since they're literally 9 times out of 10 hanging over the counter watching me prep meats and whatnot, they're less than 5 feet away. I mean, I can reach out and touch them. That's how close they are. And I'm concerned because of the factor, if I get it and don't know I got it, and I come home to a mother who's up there in age, which with immunity compromisation because of her age and her smoking and her health, and then I have Jerry Ann, who has her immune compromisation due to her health and being type 2 diabetic. Type 2 diabetic people and anybody with immune compromisation are more susceptible to the coronavirus than the average person between mid-teens to 30 to 60, 70 years of age in perfect health. And I told Debbie, there's been a couple times where I've told people that they have to have masks on, and they've just left. And Debbie was, that's fine. I'd rather my workers be comfortable in their work environment, and then, other than, basically she wants us to be comfortable, and she doesn't want us to be putting ourselves at risk for any reason whatsoever. And I was like, okay, I'm glad you said that, because I know I've been telling people that they need to have the mask on, watching people leave, and I don't want to hurt the business by doing what is necessary according to our governing body and whatnot, because we have a sign on the door. If you can't read that sign, that's not my problem. If you don't like the fact that the government's putting out these signs, putting out these mandates for the health and betterment of our nation, well, that's not my problem either. My problem is just serving the customers who want to follow the rules and regulations, and keeping myself as healthy as possible, as well as, the family members that I live with. So I have a supervisor who understands what I'm doing, and has given me basically full permission and okay to do what I've been doing, because she understands the whole situation. This is not a joke. This is not a hoax or anything like that. But I'm just happy things are going smoothly at work still. Yes, there's been bumps in the road, but every job has bumps in the road. Other than the fact that today I'm feeling like under the weather due to the cough, the difficulty breathing because of the coughing, and the Mucinex going down my throat, getting into my lungs. I did do something last night that actually helped out a little bit. Something that my father used to do to me when I was younger, when I was having these problems. And that was basically taking a teaspoon, filling it up with honey, like literally just squirting honey on the teaspoon until the teaspoon is coated in full, and just sucking that down and swallowing it. And it actually helped relieve some of the itchy issues and scratchy itchy issues in my throat. And it made it a little bit easier to function. So I'm probably going to end up doing that again before going to work, because it helped for a while. Now, what did not help was the fact that I took that teaspoon of honey and then drank a warm cup of sugar. Yeah, warm cup of tea, and well, the warm liquid hitting the honey causes the honey to become more liquefied and just uncoated my throat, which I should have recoated it before going to bed. But I don't want to be, sucking down a teaspoon of honey every time I drink, or after every time I drink a cup of tea or warm liquid, because that's, granted, it's natural, but it's pretty much pure sugar. It's one step below of just sucking down a bottle of maple syrup. But anyhow, I have a video that's a day behind because I did not get to put it up yesterday. Yesterday was one of those days where it's just like, I enjoyed my day at work, even though I spent 2 hours about 2 hours by myself. But it was so dead that I did everything else that I could. Might have forgotten one or two things. But today I go on it too, and see what happens. Whether Randy has been told to leave or not, I don't know, because I can understand Debbie sending Lisa home because of low business. But the thing is, Randy's considered a manager. He's not hourly based, he's salary based. So that does not affect our labor. What affects our labor is having like somebody, Lisa, who is hourly, being there and not having any work to do, not having any financial income, because that affects the labor. The lower the income, the higher the labor. The higher the income, the lower the labor. That's how it kind of works. And I'm like, not that I don't blame Debbie for making that choice, but from what I understand, people who are on a salary based income, they're set. Their income is set. It doesn't ebb and flow due to hours. But those of us who are not on a fixed rate of pay, we're a salary based rate of pay, which means depending on how many hours we work depends on how much we get paid. I kind of wished Debbie would have let both Randy and Lisa be there, because Randy's supposed to be my closing assistant, and I'm not gonna demand Randy stay, but I'm gonna hope he does, because if it does get busy like it did the last 2 days in the evening time after it gets done snowing and maybe melting off some of that snow, I'm not gonna be a happy camper if I get swamped, because I will have nobody I can call to come in. Literally. Jesse is impossible to get a hold of. Randy doesn't have his own vehicle. Lisa works a second job at night. So there's really nobody else I can call in. So I would literally be SOL. I would have to do my best to keep the store clean and serve the customers. Um, so I don't know what's going to happen at work. I'm going to hope for the best and be prepared for the worst. That's basically all we can do, is be prepared for the worst, but pray for the best. On a positive note, or at least I think it's a positive note, the other day, driving home from work after a crazy morning, and dropping off some boxes to Lisa, who's moving from one house to another house to a bigger house for her family and whatnot. Um, there's a road up here by the junior high that has a four-way stop, and if I'm coming towards my house from, oh, you guys don't know my town, but there's a spot around the corner from my house by the junior high that has this little open area because it's a irrigation. Yeah, that's what I'll call it, an irrigation ditch or irrigation stream. It's one of many little streams that crisscross Rolla for rain runoff. But this particular day, give me a second. Sorry, I noticed my lips were feeling chapped. This particular day, which was Monday, I was driving past that spot, and I had to wait for a stoplight. And I happened to look over to my right, where this area is, and there was a blue heron. I guess he was foraging for, what do they usually eat? Small fish, amphibians, small lizards. But anyhow, he was just standing there, and I had to do a double take because at first I was like, what? Oh, it's a herring. It's one of our blue herrings. That was a piece of excitement on a kind of difficult day, or a kind of nerve-wracking, not difficult, just nerve-wracking day. I enjoy spotting animals that we don't normally have, like the blue heron. We're not used to having them up here. Now, closer to the Lake of the Ozarks, or down south near Florida, or even up in places like New York, in the river tributaries, swamps, lakes, I didn't think we had anything big enough or efficient enough to have a blue heron come by to forage. Of course, I've been seeing my daily sightings of raccoons, and I haven't seen very many squirrels lately. I guess they knew it was going to get cold and were huddling up in their burrows. But I love seeing the various wildlife that come through here. We always get a good sighting of deer at various parts of the year, and we got this big open field next to our house, and every so often there's a house that's been there for I don't know how long, but there's across the field I can see like two houses. Now I don't know if the people who live in those two houses own the field, and that's one of the reasons why nobody's built up in that area, because those people won't sell. But there's also, in the middle of this field next to us, is a pond. Now I don't go walking that way. I just know it because of aerial videos or aerial snapshots. And I'm assuming these people are not going to sell because they've got keep out signs on the cut where the road cuts off. It just stops right there, and there's a set of posts with a chain link across it with a keep out. Do not, no trespass. Not no trespassing, just to keep out. The only people I've ever seen go in there is like the utility companies when they were replacing poles or fixing or doing something with the wiring. But we always see deer. Every so often we'll catch a glimpse of a fox. Yes, I've seen foxes here in Rolla. Um, Foxes seem to be some of the cutest animals. I've seen a lot of TikTok videos. There's one particular person on TikTok that has, I don't know if it's a sanctuary or what the deal is, but she's got like, I'd say at least 6 foxes of various colors, everything from a red fox to an albino fox to a brown fox to just like several different varieties of foxes. But they're all considered within the red fox family. It's just they're different coatings, they're different colors. And I tell you what, they are some of the cutest little animals, and some of the noises, some of the sounds that they make are just so cute. I mean, I've seen a lot of different animals on TikTok. I've seen people who raise otters, ferrets, foxes, you know, cats, dogs, potbelly pigs, you know, horses. Animals can be so funny. I mean, they can be so fun. But we get to see all kinds of animals. I mean, what animals have we seen? Deer, fox, rabbit, squirrel, raccoon, possum, groundhog. I didn't even think we had groundhogs in our area until one day I saw one waddling. The way they walk is so cute, and it looks like their hind end is just, you know, wobbling back and forth. But we've seen them like go along our hedges, across the little road to our neighbors, behind our neighbor's house. But my wife loves this house because of the fact that she can sit in the living room, have the windows open for the Arcadia door, and watch for various critters. It's one of the reasons why she doesn't want to leave this house. And she wants to try to keep this house as home base if we ever get an RV to go gallivanting around the country when we want to. This will be home base for the wintertime, basically. And I was kind of like, really? I can live in an RV, you know, 365, 24/7, you know, go up north for during the summertime and see all the things up north, and come down south during the wintertime to see all the things down south. I mean, I've got family in Arizona. She's got friends in Texas and Florida. I've got family up in Washington State, which I have not seen in 40 years. I have not seen my cousin Matthew in 40 years. I know what he's doing because he's posting it on Facebook and all that stuff, which, by the way, I'm done with Facebook. I'm done with Facebook for 2 different reasons. One, most of the stuff I see on my feed, or whatever you call it, is just, I'm not interested in it. I don't care anymore. I'm not worried about politics. I'm not worried about who's doing what to who in what state. And it's like, I don't want to just like not follow the group or not follow the person anymore because of it. I'm tired of seeing the politics. I'm tired of seeing the negativity. I really, really am tired of it. I've been fighting for months on end, the last year, 12 months, 6 months, something like that. I don't remember. But I was, before the whole electoral hubbubaloo, I was fighting to be a more positive person, and then it just, the right push just got me irritated, and I went down the rabbit hole. And yeah, I messed up when I went down the rabbit hole. I'm not surprised, and I'm not irritated or anything like that, but I've lost a lot of viewers because of that. And it's not that I'm worried about the fact that I lost all those viewers. It's more like, I know some of them I lost myself. I personally pushed out because of the fact that I was like, I'm done dealing with the issues. I'm done with the people wanting to be narrow-minded and not see both sides of the coin. And I took them out. The others, they left on their own. That was their choice. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. It just proves to me that people only want to stick around other people when they hear what they want to hear. That's all it proved to me. Now, that might seem a little bit negative, but it's the truth. I used to be the same way. I used to be the type of person who would hang around people, and if I did not hear what I wanted to hear, I wouldn't be around them no more. I'm just tired of merry-go-rounds. Really, I'm kind of tired of merry-go-rounds when it comes to trying to, and I'm not trying to get people to see my point of view. I'm trying to get people to see the point of view of a global viewpoint, not an individual my viewpoint. Yes, I do have viewpoints, and I do state that they're my viewpoints, but the thing is, my viewpoints usually comes from a worldly viewpoint, a viewpoint from other cultures, other places, other people. If it's going to be something personal, I'll state this is a personal view. But if I'm just generally stating viewpoints, it's not a personal viewpoint. And I'm sorry if people get annoyed at me for doing my research, doing my studies, taking into account what other people feel about that particular subject or person or event or whatever. I'm not one of these political type people, because I don't consider myself very political, but I'm not one of these type of people that just hash out political views just because I want people to see things from my point of view. No, I take into account everything I can find on an individual or a political party or what's going on in the government and decide if I want to talk about it. One of the biggest things I want to talk about, what I have been talking about for a very long time, is the mask issue, the coronavirus issue, those things right there. It has already been proven by medical communities and scientists, and just the factor of what other countries have done to curb the spread of the coronavirus. And, just about every major country has mandated mask wearing, mandated quarantine, mandated shutdowns, mandated closing of their travel and trade systems to curb the coronavirus. And for the most part, in every country that's ever done that, their numbers dropped dramatically to the point where it's like, oh, good, we're down to double digits, low double digits, even single digits. Let's go ahead and reopen everything. And then their numbers started going back up. And they don't know why. We don't know why their numbers went back up. Is it because of the fact that they opened themselves back up? They opened their travel and their trade back up. So anybody coming into the country with corona but didn't know they had corona started spreading the virus again? Was it, contaminated packages from foreign countries that had the coronavirus? Don't know. We don't know why their numbers went back up. We know one thing, though, in the scientific community. We know one thing in the scientific community is the fact that here in America, we did not do the same thing. We did not do all the shutdowns or any of the mandates. We did not force the mask wearing and whatnot by using government or police forces and whatnot. All we did was put signs on buildings and basically send out, or had the CDC sent out various memos and whatnot, and basically telling people how to deal with them, what to do if they're going out in public. Businesses had to businesses had to put signs on their doors saying masks are required, but nobody enforced it. Nobody was enforcing it like they were in other countries. In fact, there was I can't remember what country it was, but I just remembered that this particular country were arresting people for not following the guidelines put out by the government and their health department, the country's health department or disease control department. They were getting arrested for not having their masks on. They were getting arrested for not following quarantine procedures. These people weren't even going to grocery stores. They were just out and about. When their country said that you have to be in your home unless you're going to your job, and your job was a necessity for the infrastructure. Like if we were to do what that country was doing here in America, well, first off, there would be a lot of people getting arrested here in Missouri alone, because I've seen so many people who they'll put the mask on and they'll go into it past the person at the front door at Walmart and take the mask off. The mandate and requirement to wear the mask in the building means you leave that mask on while you're in that building. Now, I read our local, in fact, I'd like to try to post it. I read our local government requirements and functionality. Basically, for a place like me, a restaurant, even though we're a fast food restaurant, but we're good food. It states under restaurants in the Missouri.gov website that you have to wear the mask into the restaurant. You have to wear the mask at your seat. But once you go to eat your food or drink your drink, you can take the mask off. But once you're done eating, the mask needs to go back on. Now, I don't enforce the factor that they had to put the mask back on after they're done eating, but you walk in my door and walk up to my counter to order food without a mask, and I'm going to ask you politely the first time, where's your mask? You need to have a mask in this store. If they refuse to put a mask on or do one of these numbers, no, that's not good enough. You have to have an official mask, not pull your shirt up over your nose. That does not qualify as a mask in my eyes. Now, I read some information about some states, if you go into your job sick, does not matter if it's a seasonal issue like I have, or it's an actual coughing type bug that could be construed as COVID, you're going to get sent home, and you could possibly get into a legal situation, because they're making it illegal to come to work sick, no matter what the sickness is, whether it's bronchial issues, seasonal issues. But if you show any signs of sickness, coughing, sneezing, blowing your nose, anything that can be construed as a possible coronavirus, yeah, you can get in trouble by the state, that particular state or that particular city. And I'm like, wow, I'm pretty sure most of those states and cities are the ones that have the highest or a high mortality rate due to coronavirus, which I don't know what the ranking. I've not seen rankings and who's got the worst coronaviruses in this country, but with the death toll on a daily basis getting into the 100,000 range per day for this country, yeah. All I can say is whatever President Joe Biden is doing with the coronavirus task force paperwork he's been signing off on, all I can say is let's buckle down. Um, I've read a lot of the stuff that he's trying to do towards coronavirus and helping those out, helping the people out because of economic issues. Um, good and bad points about that. This is going to be my personal view, not a worldly view, not a something I read. Other than what he's trying to do, I understand what he's trying to do. I understand he's trying to help out the nation, get back up on its feet, deal with the coronavirus, get the vaccines out, enforce certain rules and regulations that the CDC has been suggesting for the last year, enforcing those. But my biggest concern isn't the aspect of causing a lot of people who want to not listen to anybody, want to consider that everything the government does has a conspiracy, or is a conspiracy of one form or another, because I've heard that from people locally. But my biggest concern would be not only just the economic the economic problems for handing out all these stimulus checks, but our nation, from what I understand, is already bankrupt. Not really bankrupt, but we owe money, buku money, to various countries for past reasons. And I know we as a nation have tried hard to pick ourselves back up. And I know one of the things that I heard was Joe Biden wanted to basically try to get people to buy American, stop buying foreign products. By having Americans buy American products, it will help America out. In a lot of ways it will, because if we can create more jobs here in America, that will mean less unemployed people. Now, with the closing of the Keystone Pipeline, it's going to create American jobs, because if we can get American companies to open up jobs that deal with building houses, or building up basically a non-fossil fuel based energy sources, whether it's automobiles, solar energy for homes, wind power for homes and businesses and towns, hydroelectric power for businesses, towns, cities, all that stuff. My biggest concern is not the possible future of having these type of jobs, or having these kind of businesses, or making making American made products. It's the people. I've said this time and time again. We the people, the American people, not just the American people, but the whole planet, every person on this planet has a God-given right to make choices. The problem is, there are so many people out there who want to make choices that don't help us go forward. It drags us backwards. Now, President Biden wants to try to get the American people to move forward, to end the strife, end the bickering, end the racial issues, make us an equal nation where everybody is an equal person. There is no privileged person. I'm not going to name a skin color, because I don't want people to point at me and call me racist, because I'm not. I feel that everybody should have the same rights. I feel like everybody should be on the same level when it comes to their individual rights. I don't understand, and I probably will never fully understand why there has to be a difference in how a white person gets treated compared to a black person, or a black person compared to an Asian person, or an Asian person compared to a Native American person. I don't understand that. I do not understand why white people feel that they are superior than any other culture, creed, or skin tone. I don't. Same with the American people. A lot of American people think we are better than Europe or Asia or Africa or even South America, our closest neighbor. I don't understand that. I really do not understand that. We were created by the same creator, and we are descended from the first man and the first woman. And I don't mean our country's president, I mean Adam and Eve. I do not understand why we cannot understand the factor that God created all of us to be equal. We are all equal under God, in God's eyes. He don't see our skin tone. He don't really see our religion, as long as we, give him his due. I'm I'm a child of the military. I grew up in the military. And when I was in the military, my father taught me that just because him and one of his buddies, who happened to be, was he African Asian? He wasn't just Asian or African. I can't remember. Well, I know he had a lot of different friends of different nationalities, or not nationalities, skin tones. And they treated each other like buddies. This is one thing I keep on saying. I think we need to adopt not the functionality, but the attitude of the military. And the attitude of the military is, it don't matter what skin color you are. If you're an American and you're going to fight by me, by my side, protect, watch my back and I'll watch your back type thing. That's the kind of mentality we need to have. And if we watch each other's back and to help take care of each other, doesn't matter where we're from or what our skin tone is and whatnot, that's what we need to be doing. Because I know this probably sounds like a political rant today, but it's not. It's not about politics. It's about people. It's about the welfare and the betterment of people. Not just as individual people, but as whole nationality, international, the whole globe. I mean, our forefathers opened up the gates to this nation for anybody and everybody who wanted to escape persecution of any form, or intolerance of any form or anything. That's what America was originally designed for. Bring us your sick, your poor. That's what we want. I mean, and we didn't say only only certain nations can come in here. No. We opened the doors. Our forefathers opened the doors for everybody who wanted to escape their miserable lives because they were under a tyrant or they were under some sort of persecution. The only nationality that was forced to come here were the Africans, who were forced to come here under slavery. That was probably over 100 years ago. It is 2021. If we have not been able to become a tolerant, non-racial, non-bias, well, no, maybe not non-bias, but non-racial, tolerant loving, caring nation for all the people who are Americans, whether they're American citizens by birth or American citizens by green card, which means they had to go through various checks and background checks and whatnot to become an American citizen. If we have not been able to do that in the 200 and some odd years, 220, 200, well, it's over 200 years. In the 200 years that we've been a nation, we established ourselves as a nation, have not been able to get rid of racialism, or basically, if we have not been able to become a equality nation like many other nations that have mixed cultures in there. Look at the UK. The UK have people who are descended from Africans, descended from Hindi or Indian, India, plus their own people. And they treat them equally. They give them equal rights. Even the gay, lesbian community, transgender community, basically anybody that would fall under the, I'm just gonna call it the rainbow flag, because I don't know the LBGNQ whatever. They're treated with equal rights. They're treated with dignity. They've got classes to teach people about the people who fall under that category. Why can't we? Why haven't we? They're all, yeah, England, the UK, they're older than us, but our forefathers came basically from them. They came here to escape the bashing of people who are not following under certain categories. Why can't we end that? Why are we, who were so proud of being leaders of the Industrial Revolution, why can't we be leaders of the new revolution, the new way of life, where it's less to no fossil fuels, no racialism, no denying others to be whom they want to be? Why do we have to fit into a category set up by one group or another? Food for thought. Anyhow, hopefully this video is greeted with positivity, because that's what it was meant to be. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put it in the comment box. I will deal with them to my best ability. And if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. A little bell will pop up and click that, and YouTube will put in notification when I put in my next video. I am sorry my videos have been getting long, but I have a lot on my mind. And until next time, God bless. Have a good day. Be safe. Bye.